hop on here, give you guys some updates, talk championship stuff. We're going to go over the team tournament, the results of that, what that all looked like, and how that all kind of unraveled over this past month. And then we're going to talk about what's next for the FKBT and everything, as you guys can see in the heading to this video. We got some big news that we're going to be sharing with you guys on what that looks like. So yeah. I know Todd, he's out in PCB in Panama with his family, so we don't want to take up too much of his time. But again, this live is going to kind of go over and talk about championship stuff, answer any questions that you guys may have, go over some of the tournament details when it comes to like pre-fishing and off limits periods, and just make sure everyone's on the same page and no one accidentally disqualifies themselves for going out on water whenever it's not the official practice period. So we're going to go through all of that. Sean's going to talk some of the boundaries and lack of when it comes to the championship, but he is going to go over boundaries, answer any questions you guys have pertaining to that and launches. And then we'll release to you guys kind of what the future looks like for the FKBT moving forward. So, yeah. We'll kind of dive into it. There's 11 of you guys on here, but again, hopefully some folks that decide to watch us later will. If you guys have questions, reach out to myself, Sean, Todd, Jeff Gallagher, or David Myers with anything, any questions you guys may have pertaining to the upcoming event in September for the championship on Lake Toho. So what I do want to do first and foremost is send a huge congratulations out there to I think it was Thomas Woodring and Frizzy Zamora on a job well done. They were the team that took home the victory for this year's team tournament. I'm going to go through it here 1 second. So Frizzy Zamora and Thomas Woodring as a total had 221 inches, 221 and a quarter inches. And what that looks like is Frizzy Zamora for his individual total had 112 inches, with also the biggest bass of the tournament with a 24 and a half incher. And then Thomas Woodring in the individual standings placed third with 109 and a quarter inches. And his biggest fish was a 23 and a quarter. So job well done. The individual angler number one finisher was Chris Mitchell with 113 inches. And his biggest fish was a 23 and a quarter. I let him down drastically this year. I did not provide any assistance. But what I do want to say is, man, it was hot out there this summer. What are we in, July or August? July.
Yeah,
it was hot. So the fact that there were how many anglers? There was 9 of us that were in the 100-inch mark for this event, and there was a lot of really good quality fish caught. But again, Chris Mitchell, Frizzy Zamora, Thomas Woodring, Timothy Campbell with 107 and a quarter, Daryl Harrelson with 106, Jason Leach with 104 and a quarter, Jeff Gallagher 102 and a half. I had 101 and a quarter, which I did. I might not have put in the most inches for my team, but I definitely put in the most miles, traveling from Mississippi to Louisiana, from Mississippi to Florida multiple times. I just come to the conclusion that I absolutely suck at fishing. So, especially in the summer. So, but man, congratulations to Frizzy and Thomas. They walked away with $300 each. So $600 for the team, $300 each, and then Frizzy Zamora walked away with $300 for big bass. So Frizzy took home $600, and Thomas walked away with $300, and the club was able to take away roughly like $140 to help go towards some of the trophies and stuff for the championship. So we're super excited. It turned out great. And that's a fun tournament that we like to do to kind of, throw out there in the middle of the summer. So again, congratulations out there. Yeah, your hard work and everything did not go unnoticed for sure. So next order of business is championship. So if you guys have any questions, please drop your comments in the comment section below. I'm monitoring them. I will answer them as I see them come across the feed. So championship is going to be September 12th and 13th on Lake Toho. That should be no surprise. It's been communicated and out on the schedule for many, many months, right? So you guys have had ample time to get out there. It's not the first time the club's obviously fished the lake. It's not the first time we've held a championship out there. So there should be no, you know, what am I trying to say? There should be nothing that we haven't already, we've done
No
out there. But if this
surprises.
is no surprises, if you guys haven't fished out there and this is your first time, you have questions, let us know. But again, no surprises. We've lifted a lot of the boundaries. Sean will go over that here momentarily. But I just want to go through some of the actual our practice and off limits periods and the tournament details themselves, and then let Sean get into the actual boundaries and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the details here real quick. So just so folks are aware, it's a 2-day tournament. The entry fee is $200, $100 a day. Big bass is going to be $500 payout. That's so that money, for the $200, it captures that. So it's going to be $500 for your big bass is going to be that payout, and then we're going to pay out based after all taxes and fees are associated with it. We'll see. I think it ended up being like 100 and. Don't quote me on it. I have to go back and look at the account, but I think after Tourney X takes their fee and Stripe takes their 2.9%, it ends up being around $180-ish dollars. I'll have to do the math to determine exactly what the payout's going to be per each position, but we'll post that here. It's all based off of participation, right? So day one launch time is going to be 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lines in will be 6 a.m. Lines out is going to be 4 p.m. So anglers will have until 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to get their photos submitted. No physical check-in is required after day one. However, you must still check off the water through the Tourney X app, right? That's going to ensure that we as tournament directors know that everybody's off the water safely, and that no one's left out there in the event something were to happen. So in the event that you may need help to get off the water, right? You might get, battery, might lose your battery or, lose juice. Reach out to one of us, Sean, Todd, whoever, or if you see someone at your boat ramp, you just communicate it and make sure that we know that if you need help, you get the help that you need. But to get off the water safely. Day two launch is going to be 5:30 a.m. Lines in, same time, 6 a.m. Lines out is going to be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the same lines in, lines out as we've done in years past. We give you more time on the front, day one, to go out there and catch your limit. Day two is going to be a shorter-ish day, and that's just so that we can knock out the awards and get you guys back on the road to get home to kind of end the weekend there. Photo submission for the day two of the championship is going to be 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the mandatory check-in at the awards ceremony is going to be at 4 p.m. At the Big Toho Marina. I'm still working out details to get a pavilion out there reserved for us in that north area. So I'm still working that piece. Once we get the pavilion location, or if we're able to get it, I'll drop all that information in a map overlay to show folks where to park and where that award ceremony is actually going to take place. It'll either be at the Big Toho Marina itself, like we've done in years past, or it's going to be at a pavilion. I'm just waiting on confirmation from the owners of Big Toho Marina if we're actually able to have it on their back patio there like we've done before. It's not an ideal location because it's kind of like a U shape. I like the patio pavilion a lot better. It's open and it's, more conducive to like a ceremonial type event. So that's plan A, is going to do that, to reserve one of those. Next thing I do want to pop up here again, you guys, this information can be found on the Tourney X Tourney X tournament dashboard. So there's nothing new to be surprised there. I do want to put a list of up here. These are the list of the qualified anglers for this event. It's been on Facebook. It's been on our social media. I sent out a notification through Tourney X, but for whatever reason, you didn't see your name on the list, and it's on the list. These are the list of qualified anglers. There are no more eligible roll downs. So whoever's on this list is the one that's qualified. And if they don't make it, we're not able to roll it down because nobody else after this has met that standard of fishing the minimum number of events. So we've exhausted all of that already. So any questions? I don't see any comments asking anything. So I'm assuming everyone is understanding and following that, so that's good. Um, but again, take a screenshot of this. It's on it's on the Facebook page. You can just type in qualified anglers for championship and it will pop that up. But yeah, that's pretty much the championship in a nutshell. Entry fees are $200. Registration is open right now. We got 3 folks registered, so make sure that you guys get out there. Paybacks for the championship are ultimately based off of how many folks we have signed up. The club has thrown in $2,000 for Angler of the Year. So right now, Blake Abbey is currently sitting in the lead for Angler of the Year. So he'll be taking home $2,000 and some cool AOY trophies to go along with that. And then championship, again, payout, we can't release that unless we do like based off of 35 anglers or however many qualified. That's what it be based off of entry fee and then what the club has saved to kind of put towards it, to kind of do like a basic. So we'll push something like that out based off of X amount of anglers. This is what the payouts would be, but it's going to be substantial, with it being a $200 entry fee. And how many places we're going to pay out based off of, how many participants we got. It's going to follow the same payout structure as it has in years past. We might extend it out to the 5th place, I think, like we've done in years past, or we'll release all that out. But it really just depends on participation and how far out we go. Anything you guys would like to add, Sean or Todd? Sean, you want to talk boundaries?
Yeah, I can talk boundaries real quick. So I just dropped the updated boundaries/launch link on the club page. Bailey's already, or Chris has already updated on the Tourney X dashboard, so you can get it there. You can get it on the Facebook page. Every public or private launch that offers launching with a fee on Lake Toho proper is eligible. There's Marsh Landing between up there by the turnpike that's an eligible launch, and that's one of the 2 boundaries for the tournament, right there up off the turnpike by Marsh Landing and the lock on the south end of Toho. Anywhere else you can get, whether it's just to the east of Toho Marina, I think it's Neptune Road, you can get underneath there and you can go back in all those canals as far as you want. You can go up Shingle Creek as far as you want. I didn't open up the launches in Shingle Creek. If you plan on fishing there, Big Toho Marina is a pretty quick jaunt, 10-15 minutes. All depends on what kind of motor you have on your kayak to get to Shingle Creek. And then you can run as far up it as you want. I just left it closed because the couple launches that are up there are a little bit smaller, and if there's current, I just don't want to put anybody in a bad position. So you can get to Shingle Creek pretty quick from Big Toho Marina if that's your plan to go fish that area. Other than that, all the launches are available. Granada, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There you got Southport down the south end, Whaley's. The east side, it's like one of the airboat ride places right there, midway up before you get to the other conservation area, right before you on the north end of that big island point. Then you get back in Goblets Cove, you got Twin Oaks Conservation Area, and you go north a little bit, you got Brownie Wise and Scotty Cove's Conservation Area side by side. Brownie Wise to the north. Then you got Big Toho Marina, and I think that's pretty much all the launches that are eligible on Lake Toho. Off the top of my head, you just can't cross underneath the turnpike past. I think it's right there at Marsh Landing on the canal that leads up to Little Toho and the dam. But everything else is fair game as far as you want to run. If you have any questions about that, I dropped my phone number on that post I just dropped 30 minutes ago. So if you got any questions, just shoot me a text or call me on Facebook Messenger. It doesn't matter. But pending any questions on that, Scott, the waters came up a little bit. You can, if you're referencing, is it too low to get into Shingle Creek? No, the waters came up in the last 30 to 45 days a little bit. So there's definitely more water in it than what it was. So it's not bad at all.
We just did our boat ramp beatdown there on July 18th, and we getting out of the Big Toho Marina. If you stay in that canal, that boat lane getting out to the main lake, it's no problem at all. But if you're off of that, it's definitely you're going to get bogged down into thick hydrilla. On the north end, I can speak on it is there is not drastically lower, but there's a lot of hydrilla. It's not that the water's low, it's just there's a ton of hydrilla. It's choked out up there everywhere you look at it. It's much different
Hey,
than in years past.
not to
What?
interrupt. My recommendation is just if it's dark out there, because I decided to follow these guys who said they knew the way at the boat ramp beatdown, and they went right in the hydrilla. Just open up Google Maps and look at the dark lane and just stay in the dark lane,
Yeah.
and you will not be let down. If you leave the dark lane, you're going to get in the hydrilla and you're going to get irritated, whatever verb you want to use,
Yeah.
getting down to the south. But just follow the dark
Yeah.
lanes on Google Maps if you can't visually see with your eyes, and you'll be
Yeah.
successful.
And depending on weather too, how weather is with that weekend. I mean, with how far out it is or whatever, the the time for launching may get delayed, right? So when it comes to the weather side of it, with Florida being, that time of the year with hurricane season and whatnot, I will be sending out notifications through Tourney X on either if weather is delaying our launch, lines in, lines out. Lines in and lines out is still going, lines out is still going to be the same, right? So if we get delayed or whatever have you with weather, just know that communication will be sent out through the Tourney X app on when the next launch is, or if day one has been canceled due to weather, or vice versa, right? We'll have to handle that accordingly. But if day one is canceled, it'll turn in from a 2-day event to a single day shootout. The format for this event is best 5, as it's been every year. So if you go out on day 1 and you skunk, day 2 you turn it around and you capture 99 inches, whatever that day looks like. It's going to be your best 5 over the 2-day period. Tiebreaker for biggest fish. So if a 24 was caught on day 1 and a 24 was caught on day 2, the 24 caught on day 1 is going to be the tiebreaker because it was caught first. Okay, so that's how that's going to go. In the event of a tiebreaker, it's when it was caught first. Which one was caught first? So, Todd, anything you'd like to add to that, or any questions that you guys may have?
No, I'm all good.
Okay, I
Tom's
don't see
bronzing right
any.
now.
Yeah, Todd's at the beach soaking it in, man. We appreciate you staying on. So, next order of business is we're gonna just talk about what the future of FKBT looks like, and hopefully, we only got 12 folks on here watching, but we're gonna make a post following this too. But we spent a lot of time discussing what we're gonna do with the club and what that's gonna look like moving forward. With everything that's changing between myself with work and my personal life, Sean and his retirement, Todd, and the things that are going on specifically, in his life and so on and so forth. We went to ICAST, met a bunch of really good people, did a lot of networking. We put a lot of time and effort and energy into this upcoming season on how we can challenge the sport of kayak bass fishing in the state of Florida and make it fun, make it exciting, make it a safe environment to do so. And after all of these conversations and challenges that we kind of threw ourselves in, there was one thing that we've, as tournament directors, and myself as being the name or the behind this organization. Every year we sit down and we've done a risk analysis on kind of where the club's at. Are we accepting, we talk about the risks that we accept when we host these types of events, and what that looks like from a business perspective and a liability perspective, from myself, from Sean, Todd, and all of those guys, right? And every year when we've had these conversations, we come back and we're like, hey, we do a really good job running. We look at all aspects: safety, weather, locations, and this, that, and the other, and everything came back to, yeah, we're still doing good, and we still believe that we can do these types of in-person tournaments, safely, and making sure that folks that are on the water competing day in and day are able to launch and return back to the ramp and be safe, and go back home to their family. But this year we've we've had a lot of conversations, and with the changes in my life, with becoming a father, and my professional career, and where that's kind of taken me now into my new job. I talked to the guys this year, and I was like, hey, I don't think that, where I'm at in my life, that I'm able to accept the same level of risk anymore. So speaking with Sean, Todd, Dave, Jeff, and a bunch of kind of getting some other insight from other tournament directors, both local and national level, it just doesn't make sense for us to continue to accept that risk, because we want to be able to put on a tournament that doesn't cost an exuberant amount of money just to have, certain coverages or certain things, right, that kind of cover us, but those coverages don't cover other things, right? So from that aspect of it, and looking at it from that perspective, next year the club, the Florida Kayak Bass Trail, is not going to be having a season. We're actually going to, does after the state championship, that's going to be our final tournament that we're going to put on for this upcoming season. It took a lot for us we put a lot of effort in. We've already had a schedule built for next year. We already had all the rules updated. We had a bunch of really cool things that we were going to be doing and challenging, but the one thing that kept coming back to us was, safety, and, protecting you guys and us. It was a really hard decision, not something that we took lightly, but at the end of the day, I have to look after my family, just like Todd and Sean have to look after theirs. And, I just, second thought, I don't think that I could have given the club as much as it deserves because of my work and my the family that I'm about to I said I wasn't going to get upset, but I truly do enjoy everything that we've got to do. But there comes a time to where we just kind of got to look at it from through a different lens. So I'm going to shut up, Todd and Sean, if you guys want to add. I just don't want to. I'm getting kind of upset. So.
Well, I'll throw something out there real quick too. Is it is a big liability on Chris's part of it, because even though it's in the LLC, it's still tied to him. So I totally understand. I agree with him. But we also want to throw this out there too: is if there's anybody that's in the club that would like to maybe take it over, running it. Um, Please reach out to us and let us know, because we'd be happy to, you know, keep it going somehow if somebody else wants to take it over. So, and we'd be able to, provide you with everything that we have done so far,
Yeah. Yeah, we have like I said, we have schedules, we have the rules outlined. We have everything that you would need, and it's just when it comes down to it, for me, I just can't put myself in that situation from a professional standpoint at this moment in time. It's not to say that the club, in future years, will not pick something back up and do it, but as of right now, it's just I got to focus on my family, and but being a father, and also to my work. For those of you that don't know, there's a lot that goes into running a club. And it's not something that I look at other folks and I'm like, man, it takes a lot, and there's not that there needs to be any sort of recognition or payment, because that's not why we're doing any of this. But my family, I know Sean and Todd's have all, made some major sacrifices in these past 4 years. I think, at the end of it, it's going to give us a little bit more time back with our families and things that we need to work on. But we're also still going to be fishing. We're going to go out and fish, some of the national events, and come down and fish some of the Bass Nation stuff, both Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. So we're still going to be out there, and there's plenty of other clubs and things out there that you guys can get connected with. Absolutely. We'll keep the Facebook page around until after the championship. And then we'll kind of close up the official one. And then if someone wants to, take over, I am going to dissolve the club and everything so that they're from a legal or liability standpoint, there's not going to be, it's not going to be tied to myself or Sean or Todd. But I'm definitely here to help, coach, mentor, and give advice or suggestions to anyone else who might want to pick up the stick and carry the torch and continue on what this club has to offer, because the people that are in this club is what makes it so unique and so special. But at the end of the day, it doesn't have to stop here. You guys, just like what me and Sean did when the Kayak Anglers of Florida closed their doors. We volunteered to help Chris Clutter and who else was it? It was Chris and
Ryan.
Ryan.
O'Neill.
Yeah, we helped them, and then it just kind of turned over to where Sean and I and Todd and kind of taken it over and ran it. So that's not saying someone can't do something similar to that. We just didn't want to move into the next season and have to halt it middle of the season. It just doesn't do you guys any justice. No one's paid any sort of membership fee other than Harrelson and myself, so there'll be refunds there for him and I. But other than that, this year we're going to pour everything we got into the championship. All the money that the club has had to kind of help with, kind of those off-season reoccurring costs. So we're going to put everything that we've saved into this championship. So we recognize those anglers you guys who come out and fish our events. And hopefully in hopes, nothing saying, hey, when we come down to Florida, we don't put out there, hey, we're going to meet up at, Toho, or we're going to go meet up at, Headwaters or Stick Marsh and still not get together, because, having a set schedule and doing those sorts of things, that's great, but nothing stopping us from still getting together and just going out and fun fishing, because at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. Getting out on the water, spending time with friends, making new friends, right, is really kind of where we wanted our club to be to begin with, right? So hopefully this club was just a thing, right? It was the people inside the club that really made it so special. So hopefully the relationships that you guys built will continue, and you guys will be able to do those, still have fun fishing. So I'm just going to shut up rambling. It's been hard for us to put it out here, and a lot of thought went behind it. I hope you guys kind of understand where we're coming at. And hopefully we understand if you're upset. And some of you, I apologize, but we just got to we're putting our families first, but also to, the safety of you guys, first and foremost, to make sure that you guys are safe, out on the water. Sean, you got anything?
First of all, appreciate everything and everybody that's participated in our events. You guys have made the club. It wasn't us. Without you guys, we'd be absolutely nothing. So I thank you again.
Yeah.
And like Bailey said, it's created a lot of friendships, not just for us, for everybody in the club. And I wholeheartedly believe that. We've had very minimal issues in 4 years, and like minor issues or minor misunderstandings, and every one of those we've gotten past or addressed pretty effectively. But the caveat off what Bailey was saying, like it's risk. There's no bulletproof liability waiver. After talking to like legal counsel specifically, there's no bulletproof. There's always a way through it, and it's like Bailey said, it's always been a conversation every year. What does our coverage look like from the beginning, day one, when we talked about standing this thing up? How are we going to cover ourselves? And Bailey explained it well on where we stand today. And it's not we didn't directly identify any single situation that made us change it. It's just an overall cumulative statement of facts or changes we thought about making to the club to make it bigger, make it more easily accessible to anglers, but it also makes it more easily accessible to risk.
Yeah.
That wasn't a way around that we could assume it. And there's other people who are assuming that risk. And again, hopefully nothing negative ever happens to anybody out there on the
Yeah.
water. But again, it's been awesome. I'm moving down to Florida in a few months, so I'll be down there. We'll still be fishing hard. Hopefully, fishing some more national events now that I'll be living the retired life. But I'll eventually go back to work. But yeah, by all means, you guys can still reach out to us anytime. Like Todd said, like if somebody's out there that wants to pick this up where we left it off, by all means, we're more than willing to help and share experiences. Almost every single one of them are positive. Very
Yeah.
few negative interactions with the people of Florida, and it's been great. And I love Florida. That's why I'm moving back, because I don't ever want to be cold again. And the fishing's generally awesome. So, but again, we'll see you guys at the championship. I'm really looking forward to it. It's my favorite lake in the state, but she burns me every time. Hopefully she burns me and graces you guys with nothing but big giant bass, and it's a big shootout on Lake Toho in September. But again, thanks.
Yeah.
That's all I got right
Yeah.
now.
Yep. Thank you guys again. We've been very fortunate to have such amazing folks to join this movement, is what I want to call it, right? So I just hope that we continue continue the friendships and reach out. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on Toho. I think I'm going to sign up and compete. Hopefully you guys understand. I wasn't going to do so, that since I didn't necessarily qualify, but I think, if it's okay with you guys, with it being our last event.
Oh, he's fishing the last event. He'll be out there.
Yeah. My apologies. I'm not weak. But I'm just reading some of the comments. So yeah, we appreciate you guys for sure. Richard Bruce had been a great 2 years. Greatly appreciate what you guys have done. Someone else speak. Oh Lord. I told myself I wasn't going to get emotional, but I do like what Robert Phillips just said here. He said, open it up to everyone who at least fished one event. I'm not completely against that. With that being our last event of the season, I'm 100% on board with opening it up and letting folks that were members, that were paid members to compete, with it being our last event. So we'll make a post out there if the consensus says, hey, fish it, that you guys are okay with it. We'll open it up. I'm fine with that. I just want folks to come up there, have fun, and have a shot at just one last opportunity at potentially taking home a trophy. Because this year, this is the first time we've ever done it, but we got a pretty legit trophy from Catch. That whoever takes home the championship is going to be going home with this bad boy, which is super cool. Super thankful for that. And then Todd is actually working with another guy for second and third place trophies there as well, which are one of a kind. They're not Catch trophies, but they're one of a kind. So we're looking forward to that. We're also doing an Angler of the Year trophy and something unique for the Angler of the Year as well, something in which we haven't necessarily done in years past. So this championship is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be the last Kumbaya. The one thing that we are doing a little different this year is it's not going to be heavily, focused on the give prizes that we're going to be giving away at the championship. We're obviously going to give away some of the rods or the reels that we've got given, and some of the product from our sponsors. But again, this year is more heavily focused on the payouts. and putting our money where you guys had mentioned last year in boosting the payouts for these events. So this year, I think that's what we're going to do. And there'll be things that will be given away, but it's not going to be like it has been in recent years for that fact. So it will be a little different in that regard. But we're excited about it and just really getting to hang out. But I will hopefully, my goal is to be there fishing it, since it will be the last FKBT event. So yeah, I don't see anything else. Is there anything else that we need to kind of talk about, guys?
I think that covers it all.
All right. Well, I need to get off of here before I become an emotional wreck. I don't normally. I don't. I try. I tried my best, guys. I tried my best. Okay, don't hold that against me. But for those,
This has been your baby, Bailey. So, this is your baby. So, and now that you got another baby on the way, you got to take care of that baby.
Yep. So I appreciate everything that you guys have done. Todd and Sean, I want to take this opportunity. Dave and Jeff, I see Dave's on here now, but I know Jeff is working and couldn't make it tonight. But I just want to express my gratitude to you guys for all the hard work that you guys did to help me run such an amazing club, especially last year, taking a lot of the brunt with me being gone in North Dakota. You guys did a phenomenal job. And just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. The friendships that I made between Sean, Todd, Jeff, Dave, and all of you guys are, lifelong friendships that, you don't really come across very often. And I want to say thank you guys for opening up your arms and allowing me to kind of, be who I am. And fishing has really helped me be better, right? And that's the whole reason I do it. I don't do it for sponsorships. I don't do it for a profession, right? I do it for fun and getting to hang out and spend time with my boys on the water. So that to me is worth more than any amount of dollars that I can win fishing a tournament, right? So and that's not the case for everyone, but if you guys are in it for the money or trying to do it for a profession and chase that route, the Florida Bass Nation guys, Blake Abbey, Brian Nelly, Seth Taylor, all of those guys are running a phenomenal club, as far as that goes when it comes to sponsorship and recognition and highlighting anglers and whatnot. So this year there's going to be a lot of good things to come with them, with that crew. So I'm excited and looking forward to participating in quite a few of their events as well as time allots. But definitely looking to see how that kind of shapes up now that we're not in the picture anymore. Hopefully you guys go out there and experience what that's all about, because you got to give credit where credit's due, and what they did last year really was great. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I think they're doing great things for the sport of kayak fishing in the state of Florida, and that's my opinion there. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do. Right. It's not easy. So I'll leave it at that. I'm going to make a post on Facebook as well, just to kind of throw it out there and recap kind of what it is that we talked about for those that didn't watch. But we appreciate you guys and look forward to seeing you in September at the championship. So that's all I got, guys.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Yep. Thank you, guys. We'll talk to y'all. We'll do our mandatory captains meeting on September 10th, but we're going to be doing some other lives here in the coming weeks in preparation for the championship. So just to go over some things. But yeah, the mandatory captains meeting is going to be September 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, the one thing I do want to highlight though, before we get off, and I'll highlight this again on the Facebook page, off limits period. I don't think I hit that earlier. So I have it on the Tourney X dashboard, but off limits period for the championship is going to start on the official practice period for the championship is going to be September 5th. So 7 days before the tournament, and end at 3 p.m. on September 11th. So the official practice period for the championship starts on September 5th and concludes on September 11th at 3 p.m. So everyone has to be off the water after 3 p.m. on the 11th. Off limits period, the championship water, all Lake Toho, that's Spring, or what's that creek? again?
Shingle.
Spring, not Shingle Creek.
Shingle.
Yep, that entire body of water is off limits starting August 6th through September 4th. Okay, so no practice or scouting is permitted on the tournament waters during that period. After the off-limit period ends, anglers may begin official practice. So you've had plenty of time up until now. You still have this weekend, but starting on August 6th, or no, excuse me, starting August 6th, you may not be on tournament waters. The only exception is for the native no limit tournament that is going to take place on I believe it's September 5th, if I'm not mistaken. Let me verify here real quick. Let me look it up. The native
Yeah,
no
I can
limit
look at it.
is, I'm pulling it up right now. It's on September 5th. So September 5th is the native no limit big bass power hour. That's on Lake Kissimmee, Florida. So that will be, I don't think it's the chain. I think it's just Lake Kissimmee.
It's just
Yeah,
Kissimmee,
so-
so not a big deal.
Yep. So y'all are good. So September 5th is the native no limit on Lake Kissimmee. You guys go out there and fish that, support it. It's going to be a phenomenal event. It was a great turnout last year. But yeah, tournament. If there's any questions on that, any confusion, just let me know, and we'll make sure you guys are squared away, so you're not accidentally disqualifying yourself. Okay, but that's all I have, guys. It was a pleasure spending this hour with you guys, or 41 minutes. Looking forward to seeing you guys in September. But until then, tight lines. Be safe out on the water, right? And yeah, enjoy the rest of your summer as we prepare for this championship. But until then, peace.
Later.